about 6 in the morning here on the Gaspé Peninsula, and we have a bit of a road trip in store before we begin our canoe poling and fly fishing adventure down the Bonaventure River. So we're just rolling up to Zec Bonaventure here in the beautiful town of Bonaventure, Quebec. Hello. 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 And we are getting our salmon fishing licenses before we take a shuttle up to start poling the Bonaventure River. The Zec hooked us up with a shuttle driver, Joel, who's sitting right here. And Joel knows the way in. Gravel road, there are some logging trucks on it, so you gotta be careful around the blind corners. Is the river dark? A little bumpy going through here. The road has gotten a little bit narrower. We're here! The end of the road. We made it here. It was a long drive, but it is accessible by road in a fairly direct way. Anywhere upriver from here, and you got to get more creative in how you get there because there's no direct roads. This is kind of like the end of the road. Yeah, we used our Mitsubishi Pajero that we got from Right Drive. Right Drive is a dealership that imports awesome right-hand drive off-roading vehicles, and I worked with them on this trip, and they lent me that vehicle for the trip. Turned out to be a great vehicle because we did run into some pretty interesting road conditions coming through the mountains to get to the put-in, and fit 2 canoes on it no problem. So our shuttle driver is going to drive the Pajero back down to the takeout on the mouth of the river where we're finishing our trip, and Tori are going to put in here, and we're going to start poling. That's it. We're all alone now.
We're on our own.
Let me see the poles.
This is yours. Wow, that's a long pole.
Oh, that's what she said.
I know, that's what she said. But cool. You need it to be long, especially for Jim. It's height, so you can
kayak.
But the Bonaventure is really shallow right now, so through the rapids we'll be poling because it's really bumpy and shallow, but there are some deeper pool areas that we can probably just sit down and paddle through because my pole is a little bit shorter.
Have you ever done much poling before?
I did maybe a hour long intro workshop poling thing.
Just jumping right into it.
Not the basics, but I've definitely never done anything in moving water, so we're gonna learn quick. Worst comes to worst, I dump, lose all our stuff, and die. So,
like Tori says, we're going to be using poles standing in the canoe, and each one of us is going to be soloing our own 17-foot canoe using a pole to navigate the rapids, and we're going to be fly casting for salmon along the way. So next step is we got to get our canoes, get our gear in the water, and start making some distance downriver. We have 3 days to make it almost 70 kilometers. This is the Big West River, and it meets the Bonaventure, which is like literally right there. So we're gonna put in here, and we're probably gonna have to drag down till we get to Bonaventure. Hey, look, hon.
okay, here goes nothing.
I'm pulling!
So far, not so good. Oh boy, I have no idea what I'm doing. I can't turn to get out. Son of a bitch.
That was fun. That was actually pretty technical for my first ever time. I'd say jump in from there.
Okay.
Yeah! You're doing it!
I fell already.
You okay?
Yeah.
You did good. Yeah, I managed to get through. It was pretty tricky though, eh?
So, I mean, we probably should have practiced.
Practice? Nonsense.
Kind of lean on the shins.
Remember, but you can go like this and slow down. You want me to go first again?
Yeah.
Alright, copy what I do. Except if I blow it, then don't copy me. Tori did really good actually. She went a little bit of a slower way and bumped over some rocks, and I had to do a little maneuvering through some boulders, which was pretty action-packed if you ask me. So not bad for our first time ever poling rapids. And I was actually excited because I saw my first salmon. I saw 5 or 6, including a couple that were probably 12 to 15 pound range, which is big. So that was pretty exciting. You see them? Tori's just looking at the salmon right now. We duct taped this water noodle, slid it, and duct taped it on the back of the thwart, and that way we don't bang our shins on it while we're poling. Yeah, that was so fun. All right, now Tori's gonna pull. Doing good. We're getting the hang of it. shows me up, eh? Holy sh! Like huge salmon, lots of them. I can't get out of this, it's full. Yo, Tori. Well, I got short shafted, and I gave Tori the long pole. Even though I'm taller, I kind of have more reach, so I'm actually able to maneuver in the rapids better with a short pole because I can reach further forward than she can. But in these deep holes, I got to break out the paddle. Even with a really long pole, it would be hard to get through here. You know, you don't always need top of the line gear to do these things. Sometimes it's all about just getting out there and making the best of what you can, as long as you're being safe. I mean, who cares? Now we got a bunch of rapids.
Whoa.
Is that a salmon?
What the was that?
That was a salmon.
It jumped like 2 feet in the air.
All right, just follow me, hon.
Lots of boulders.
You gotta go to the middle! Just get out! Get out! Tori!
I can't hear you! Obviously I can't hear you on the f***ing leaf I'm standing in. Chickened out.
We had to take a pit stop because, you know, we were starting to get a little weak, a little cranky. Tori tried to punch me in the face, for example, because she was hangry. I'm just kidding. Trying to get a substantial amount of fly casting in and travel nearly 70 kilometers. Feels like there's a lot on our plate and we haven't made it very far yet, but what we're thinking about doing is jumping in the boats, pushing to where we can fish and to where the fishing's supposed to be better, spending the evening and pretty much all day tomorrow making very little distance and doing more fishing, and then the last day just paddling beast mode all the way to the coast. So that's kind of what we're gonna do. It's a little after 3 in the afternoon and we still have a ways to make it. We're really being slowed by this headwind. And it really wants to just jackknife us and turn us 180, and so it's definitely slowing our progress. But you know, we just like to make it to camp where we can actually do some fishing and set up and be on track too. So how are you feeling about that, Tori?
Yeah, good.
Good?
I think it'll be okay. We might just have like one really beast mode day.
Yeah.
But hopefully, like, the closer we get to the ocean, like maybe we can just paddle a lot of it, you know?
Yeah. The river volume should build up as we get further down, so there's not going to be so many shallow spots. All right, anyways, back in the boat, and we got this little swift here to start off with, which looks shallow.
You blew it.
Looks so quick. I can just see your shadow.
I'm having a lot of fun.
I know.
We have been poling on the Bonaventure River. No dumps yet. Jim bombed a pretty big rapid, class 2, with some pretty big standing waves. I chickened out and I took a little squirrely way around to avoid the big waves, but no dumps. I've fallen into the canoe only once so far, but I think we're doing pretty well. We're starting to get the hang of it. So far, like I said, we've done about 5 kilometers, and now we are in the open access section of the Bonaventure. So there are 2 sections that we're allowed to fly fish in. So really at this point, I guess if we find a good fishing hole, we can pull over and take a few casts. We've seen some salmon in the pools so far. They're looking pretty big. Saw one jumping right out of the water, which was really cool. Saw 2 actually doing that, which was really cool. Quite the sight to see. But yes, so much fun. It's such a beautiful day. It's such a beautiful river. We've got some, mountains here behind us. It's incredible. So I'm super happy we're here. So fun so far. I can't wait to start fly fishing. That's
awesome.
Another thing I haven't done yet. So we'll see how that goes.
A lot of firsts for us, eh, honey? Wrangle some salmon. So we want something with a relatively big hook that might help it sink a bit, and something black for this time of year. So I have a few different flies here. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. Oh, there's salmon jumping all around us. Be really stealth. Let's start from here. I got too close to them, you know?
Is it shallow over here? It's very misleading.
No, it seems like it's getting shallower and just doesn't. Yeah, you just gotta look. You're pretty close to it, you know? I think there's like 3 or 4. Keep jumping. Well, first fly fishing attempt. Really fun. Really fun. Got some fish jumping in front of us that got us super amped, but unfortunately we just couldn't cast out far enough to get to the fish, even though we waded in quite a ways. I think we might have spooked them a bit, but after we cast a bit, they started jumping. But they're just not coming in close enough to the shallows. They're out of casting range, at least for our casting range. So we're gonna jump in the boats, we're gonna keep our rods out, and we're gonna try to make some time and maybe take a few casts at any spot that looks promising along the way. But that was a lot of fun. Would have been a lot more fun to catch one. Any thoughts on your first time fly fishing?
A little frustrating.
Frustrating?
Much harder than it looks.
Especially when these huge fish are going bonkers right in front of you.
Like, look, they're literally just jumping right in front of us. It's like they're like taunting us. But I think I'm starting to get the hang of it, but we'll see. Yeah. I basically just have my fly rod there tied with just a quick release knot, and I run it out the back. And I just slip it through that beaner there. I think maybe we set up camp in a good fishing hole. Or we can take a little more time. Yeah, not be stressed out because the sun is currently starting to set. It is getting late in the evening. We spent probably way more time than we should have trying to catch salmon. I did have some come in and almost take my fly right in front of me and just veer away at the last second. Like, oh man, you know, really promising. Even though we don't have a ton of time in this river, it makes us think we're gonna catch a salmon. Now it's looking like that time may not be tonight because we're kind of pushing here. We actually cruised over some nice holes that we would have liked to have fished, but just didn't get the chance because we got to make it to our campsite because we got a lot of clicks to paddle on this river. We are losing light. It's 20 to 7. It's dark at like 7:38. Yikes. Here's an interesting boat. Old school cedar strip, 22 feet long. And the anchor is just a huge chunk of lead